Hi everybody. I'm sitting here with the bucket that holds the worms in my cardboard only worm experiment. And it says uncomplicated as it sounds. I had some worms that I caught out in my own yard. They were redwigglers. I baited them with food scraps and put them in a bin a couple months ago, in a bucket rather. It was very simple. And I put in there nothing but cardboard. They've never had food, scraps of any kind, no grits, no anything, just their cardboard. And I'm about to retire this project because I've added 2 new regular full-size worm bins, and I'm bringing in a bunch of plants that spend their outdoors here, but now we're getting frost, so I gotta bring them in. So space is getting a little tight. So I have a few small projects that I'm gonna retire. So I wanted to show you the results of this cardboard only, and so you can see that it's dry. It's really, really dry. I dropped the ball on this and adding more moisture, but I wanted to show you just what they've done now. Yeah, let me just show you. Let me pull out some of the bigger pieces, and I'm sure there's worms hiding in between these pieces of cardboard, but because it's so dry, they would have gone into the inner ribbing to get the moisture. That's just, but this is the castings. There you can see how finely shred this cardboard is, and of course it's, cardboard color. It's not going to be black because there was nothing in there but cardboard. But you can see when I, slowly move away the big pieces of cardboard, the worms are still there. There weren't very many worms. I think about 15. I have to go back and check that number, but they did make castings out of the cardboard. And of course, let me put flash, maybe it'll be better. Of course, the castings are going to resemble what they were eating. And I mean, the worms themselves still look good. They're dry. And it's kind of funny just how, cardboard and nothing but cardboard, that they made the castings. So I want to see. I'm trying to get my phone to zoom in. I'm down one hand because I have a really bad case of poison ivy on my other hand. Let me see if I can get the other hand involved here. I got my fingers wrapped up right now. I was trying to see if I can see. I thought that was a cocoon right there. I didn't know. Well, maybe that's just a worm. That's just a worm. Looked like a cocoon was attached, but it's, I guess with all this chewed up cardboard, a lot of things are going to look like cocoons. You might see one that I may miss. And I was curious, since I let the bin get really dry and didn't do a good job maintaining it, if they went into panic mode and started to breed, or if I think I just saw a cocoon right in this area. Matter of fact, I know I did. Nope, that's not a cocoon. Or is it? It is. Okay. And that's yellow still, so that's a fairly new cocoon. So I'll put that in the bin that I'm going to add these worms to. My wild wiggler bin. So, I mean, they were happy enough and content enough to breed and lay cocoons. Now, I don't think it's been in existence long enough to have hatchlings. Well, wait. I see a stupid phone. I'm so sorry for this. I know I just saw a hatchling worm. I think it fell off my finger. Because any newborns would have been born in this bin. Let me pause for a moment, and I'm going to take a look and see if I can find any newborns. Okay, so actually, I found a few. Here's one right here on the tips of my finger. Tip of my finger. And boy, he's a red little hatchling, isn't he? I guess he's a good representation of his mama. There you go. So that's not a brand new, like 2-day-old one, but Mr. Roly-Poly wants to run back in. But he's maybe a week old, and I think probably down here in the bottom, in this finer stuff. Now, what is that right there? Oh, I know what that is. If you look, I'm going to get my phone. You see that little tiny white thing right there? That's a little tiny land snail. It must have been in the cocoon, in the cardboard, when I picked it off the ground outside. There's a little tiny snail in its shell right there. I don't know if it is alive or not. Let me pause and get it in a better position. Well, wait a minute. It's moving on its own. So yes, it is alive. That's quite funny. Let me try to move some of this stuff away. Now, since I picked the cardboard up from the ground outside with worms in it, obviously the little snail there was in the cardboard, because there's no other way it could have gotten in there. It has a very unusual shell. Usually they have those, just the basic dark brown shells, but I'm trying to see if he's gonna like move around for us. Oh, down it went. Well, I couldn't find the snail because of the color of the cardboard and the color of the snail. He pretty much camouflaged right into it. So my plan is to dump these castings and unfinished material along with the worms directly into the wild wiggler bin that I have going, since they're the same worms, the same from the same origin. So when I do that, I'm going to kind of run these fine castings through a little sifter, a colander, just so I can get a better look at what's been going on in here, because I'm curious to see how many babies there are, and see what else I do find in here. I've seen a couple of springtails, which are good, but as well as a millipede, but I don't know if there's anything else crawling around. There's not that much. Let me zoom out. There's not that much material. I mean, a couple of handfuls. There would have been a lot more, but I sort of put this off in a corner and unfortunately forgot about it, and it got really dry. So considering that, they've done pretty good. I guess I'll say that this was absolutely a success. Worms can make castings out of nothing but cardboard. They ate, they mated, they laid cocoons, the cocoons hatched, and the baby worms are at least a couple of weeks old, so the babies are living on it as well. I wouldn't use it as an exclusive only. I wouldn't use cardboard as an exclusive feed, so simply because the nutrients in it are none. So, the food scraps that I manage to divert to my worms versus the landfill, that benefits the worms, and the castings benefit my garden. But I always known that these worms love cardboard, and I just wanted to do a little experiment on what they would do in cardboard only, and Well, they did everything they would do in any other material, just probably to a lesser degree. I'm sure if I added water, kept this maintained with moisture level, and waited, another month or whatever, all of this would have been finished up. But as I said, I need to make room and consolidate some things. I can see worms in between layers here. So they definitely did, when it got dry, they sort of scooted between the corrugated layers. And I bet you there's a whole lot of babies in between these layers. As I'm picking it up to put them back, I can see, just the worms they're looking really good. I mean, they probably don't care what the quality of their castings are. They're just happy to have something they enjoy. So, okay, folks. Well, again, this project is being retired now. The worms are going to get moved into my other wild wiggler bin so they can continue to do what they do best, and they're going to get some real food, so I'm sure that'll be a treat. And if you have any questions, feedback, comments, thoughts, please let me know. Subscribe if you'd like, if you haven't already, and select the notification option if you want to be notified on my videos. And as always, please share my channel with anyone that would be interested. I'm trying to get to enough subscribers where the community tab becomes available to me so I can put up some text documents and not just videos. Right now I'm very limited as to what I can put up. I can't put up photos or screen grabs or anything like that until I am at 200 subscribers, which isn't undoable at all, but I need those subscribers to get there, so your support would be greatly appreciated. Have a wonderful evening, and these guys are going to go move to their new home.